So this is Lane back with To the T podcast. I'm here with Seth again, our resident water snob and plumber. We're going to talk a little bit today about the changing of the seasons, things that you can expect in your homes, things to do to get ready for the changing of the seasons, and how the Texas heat can affect your house. Seth, you want to say hello to everybody?
Hi.
Excuse me. All right. Well, Seth, I understand that the Texas heat doesn't affect houses and plumbing systems as much as HVAC systems, right? Yeah. But what effects can you see on your system with the changing of the season, like pressures, heat, things like that?
Well, temperature changes generally affect like water. So in the summertime, we're not really cold water. In fact, you kind of pray for cold water because it's so hot outside. Yeah. But then when we start getting in the colder temperatures, I think this year is supposed to be a kind of a brutal winter, if I'm reading things on the interweb correctly. Mm-hmm. When the water temperature changes for the colder, water heaters have to work a little bit harder to kind of satisfy themselves. You might use a little bit more hot water than cold water when you're mixing like a two-handle faucet. But then a lot of our attics in this area, a lot of water heaters in this area are put in attics.
Okay. And so that heat's going to affect them.
Well, I mean, just like the attics aren't really that great insulated very much. I think it's a lot of the problems James has with HVAC systems. You have not a lot of insulation on top of the ceiling. So it's like an oven that the house is trying to cool with that fighting it.
Mm-hmm. How does that affect the
water heaters? Are straight in the attic.
Okay.
So, if it's really cold outside, you can get freezing temperatures, busted water lines, stuff like that. Usually moving water is one of the best ways to prevent water from freezing.
Like a recirculating pump?
Not necessarily a recirculating pump, just any kind of movement of water. So dripping your faucets.
Okay.
I know some jurisdictions, they don't like you doing that, kind of overloads their pump or their water treatment plants. Mm-hmm. There are some other devices that you can get for like outside hose bibs. There's this one that came out. I don't remember the name of it. I think it's like Freeze Miser or something like that. But you put it on the faucet, you turn the faucet on, just leave it. It stays shut. When it starts freezing, it has some kind of temperature thing on the inside that opens up.
Like a thermostat that opens up and lets a little bit out.
Yeah. Water come out. When we had that freezing stuff go on, 21, 20, something like that. What was it? Winter Storm Uli.
Right.
Man, there were so many frozen pipes. I had one that was a tankless water heater, but it had a condensate drain that would come off it because it's a condensing unit. Mm-hmm. Man, that condensation in the pipe just froze up. I was taking a little screwdriver, chiseling the thing out. Eventually, I got a little bit of water to come out, and then that water kind of broke up some of the ice that was on the inside, and just a slew of water just came out with it. So
right.
I mean, moving water does help with that.
Okay. And you brought up water quality. I know that in the summertime, heat, bacteria, things like that, municipalities can get a little overwhelmed with trying to treat their water. That's whenever we have those boil times is usually in the summers, right?
Boil notices usually revolve around like a busted water main. Mm-hmm. Any kind of failure in the water system to where contaminants can get in the water. That's when they recommend.
It's not so much
water.
Bacterial growth, things like that.
Man, water is such a vast rabbit hole that you can go down. Best thing I've ever been able to tell people is, look, every year you get a water quality report from your jurisdiction.
Read it. Okay.
Look up those numbers.
Right.
There's one word that I had to learn a while ago is trihalometane.
Trihalometane. Okay.
It's a product that happens in the water, and it's not good for people that have like liver issues or undergoing chemotherapy. I had to learn about
they
stuff like
use that as a
no, it's something that happens in the water. I haven't really been able to get my head wrapped around the whole thing. It's just I know that trihelomethanes
Can be present.
not good in the situation that I was in, to where I would have to treat my water to get rid of it to take care of the person that I was trying to take care of.
So let me ask you, what do you do in that situation, or what would you recommend for the average homeowner if they don't have any type of RO or water purification systems in their house? Because I know you hooked me up.
Get one.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you
Any
call
kind?
Me, well, really, the water is going to tell you what you need.
Okay.
So getting your water tested would be the first thing. If you have any questions about it, there's all kinds of water specialists out there that all their focus is just providing water softeners, water filtration systems, combination units, ROs. There's even ultraviolet filters out there.
Right. So you can go to like HEB, Home Depot. I mean, not HEB, but Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a kit and send it off and then provide it to us, or can we do that?
Well, we can do that also.
Right.
My wife here recently, because we're on a well,
Right.
so we don't get a water quality report. Every 6 months, we generally test our well. She knows how to do it because I showed her how to do it. But I mean, if she forgets, she just reads the box.
How much does that cost?
If you get it from Lowe's or Home Depot, usually around like $20, depending on the type of test you get. There is one out there that, man, it goes through a battery of tests that tell you just about everything you probably don't want to know is in your water.
Right.
That's a couple of $100 because it generally is sent off to the laboratory. They go through the water test. They send you back the results.
Okay.
And usually based off of that, that's where we start figuring out, okay, well, we need a water softener. We need a filtration system. Do we need to have UV? UV is generally for like bacteria growth.
Right.
So just getting rid of a lot of the impurities is going to help not only your plumbing system, but also you.
Right.
Because whether you drink it or not, you're showering in it.
Right.
You're washing your dishes in it. You've got your clothes going. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it's really take care of your water.
Okay. So let's talk about budget-friendly people, DIYers. What would you suggest they look for? Let's say someone moved into a new home this year, right? And they're getting ready for their first fall and winter season in Texas. And granted, Texas is not very extreme most of the time, but when it does get extreme, it gets really cold. So what would you suggest those DIYers and budget-friendly people look for in their house to get ready for it?
Kind of like what we talked about is the water heater in the attic. What's your insulation like? That's some data that you can acquire. Maintenance on your water heater. If you don't know how to do it, you can always look stuff up online that tells you specifically what your water heater is supposed to be done, or what's supposed to be done to your water heater to take care of it. A lot of homeowners, that I go to, I kind of walk them through how to flush their water heater. Sediment, debris, stuff like that gets in the water, and then once it gets to the tank, and you stop using water, it just kind of floats down to the bottom and then just starts stacking up a little bit. But cleaning that stuff out will help. Main thing I tell all of my customers just about, there's 3 things that you can be doing that'll keep you from having to call me. Control your water pressure, control your water quality, and do your maintenance on your water heater. Those 3 things are the main things for service plumbers in this area that I would say definitely need to be taken care of. As far as a homeowner, yeah, you can flush, she can flush their water heater, check the temperature and pressure relief valve. Usually, if you have a plumber come out, he'll probably walk you through the process. Just watch him. You'll see everything, ask a couple of questions. Man, plus the internet.
Right.
Internet doesn't lie.
YouTube University.
It's YouTube University for sure. Yeah. But I mean, you can get all kinds of additional information in there. One of the things that we try to get to as much as we can on water heaters is anode rods.
Right. That's something that a lot of people don't understand.
They don't understand it, but they also don't know about it. I mean,
that's even in there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's basically just a sacrificial rod.
Right.
It's immersed inside the water in the tank. So it's exposed to the water, and then it sacrifices itself to protect the tank.
Right.
So if there's no material left, your tank's not being protected. If it's encrusted in calcium, kind of like building a force shield around it, it's not really doing its job. So there was one job I was I was out in Lago Vista and I was doing a repair on a water heater for a guy who had an electric water heater. I took his element out because the upper element popped, and I just kind of shined my light in there, and his entire anode rod was just thickly covered in calcium. It ain't doing jack.
Right.
And his water heater's like 3-4 years old.
Yeah, and we saw that in Bryson, right? A house that's like 4 years old, and the sacrificial rod is just completely like the top of it's missing, right? And then the bottom of it's calcified, and we know it's not working. It was like 4 years old, and it's because of the water quality that we have here. It's very, very, I mean, hard, right?
Yeah. No, we got hard water in the area. Austin, I think, is generally around like 8 grains per gallon. There's different ways that you can measure hardness. There's parts per million. There's grains per gallon. I kind of like going the grains per gallon. Round Rock's like in the 12 to 18 range.
Wow.
Man, the well I'm on, that's like 32 grains per gallon.
Wow. Yeah. I don't even know. Don't
hard.
even tell me what mine was. I just know that the water coming out of my faucet, because he used better than bottled water right now.
Oh, yeah.
So that's,
no, it was.
Yeah.
It was 28.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about people that are concerned. Let's say, again, someone moved into a new house. Somebody moved into the area. They moved into a house, let's say that's 12, 18 years old. What kind of things can they do to make their house more energy efficient? You know, for two reasons, right? They're going to save money, but then they're also reducing their carbon footprint.
There's a couple of things. So, like, if you have a really old water heater, I mean, you can make the transition to tankless water heater.
Okay.
It can be an expensive process because that house was plumbed in for a regular tank water heater. So most of the time we have to run a dedicated gas line to it, alter the piping to fit the new tankless, run new venting. It's still kind of up in the air whether it plays out to where, yeah, you definitely need to do this because it'll save you money.
Right.
Or can we stick with the tried and true method of a tank water heater?
But it's even still more efficient now. The new tank water heaters
they are.
right?
I mean, one of the ones that we put in, it's 96% efficient on the energy scale, and it's a condensing model. So there's things that I can do for the venting to make it a little bit cheaper. It doesn't have to take that big giant stainless steel one. It can be run a Schedule 40 PVC. You can recirculate it, so you're not wasting water having to wait for it to travel that length from water heater to the farthest fixture 100 miles away.
And I've seen you do some of that with double water heaters and a manifolding, setting that up and with a pump, so that you're making it a whole lot more energy efficient at that point, right?
Yeah, we did a double change out for a customer in Leander. Excuse me, and he basically had it tied to where the two water heaters were just looked like they were individual. So one for downstairs, one for upstairs. But somewhere down the line, they actually tied the hot lines together. So if you turn one water heater off, thinking that, okay, this one's having some issues, I need to work on it, turn it off, you still have pressure going into it. I'm not really a big fan of that. Mostly because then you have to shut the other one down. Sometimes they're not side by side.
You can't isolate.
You can't isolate.
Right.
And there was one case I had water heater on one side of the house, and it was a big house. And there was another water heater all the way on the other side. So whenever I'm trying to do testing, I'm having to pop both of them.
Right.
Or we just add another valve on the hot side. I kind of prefer tying them in series to where water comes into one, hot water goes out, goes into the next water heater, goes out, then goes in the system.
Right.
But then I also like putting in bypass valves. So if one water heater fails, you can pop a couple of valves. You're still running off one. You don't have any issues.
You can isolate it and then work on it, whatever you need to do.
And still have hot water.
Right.
Until this other one gets taken care of.
But then that makes it a whole lot more efficient.
It makes it more realistic as far as if you have it's peace of mind. So if you have a problem, you still have hot water. The catastrophic issue would be if both water heaters were leaking at the same time, which I haven't seen yet.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, recirculation pumps can be put on. They can even be tied with a aquastat, which is a thermostatic switch that gets mounted on copper pipe. And it basically just like when the pipe gets so hot, it turns the power off to the pump. So you're going off of temperature, not time or just straight running all the time. But they do have pumps that have timers on them. They're analog, they're digital. Process of that is that most houses were not piped in for a true recirculation system where every hot line was looped together all the way around, and then at the end brought back to the water heater, so it goes into the water heater, out, and then just makes a big giant loop. So there's a pump that we can install on the hot side of the water heater. It hooks up to 120 volt power. That pushes the water. And
that's just a regular plug, right?
That's
a regular
just a
wall plug.
Regular wall plug. Not like the dryer, but like what you plug your, I'm going to date myself, your alarm clock.
Or whatever.
But somewhere down the line, and I usually try to find like the furthest fixture, run a little bit of testing to find out how soon hot water hits certain things. Because I want it at the very backside of the hot water line. Is a little mixing valve. It bleeds hot water into the cold side. It's kind of the same principle as just taking your hot water faucet, just barely turn it on so you got a trickle. Eventually, that line's going to get hot. It's going to stay hot. Problem is, we got the water going down the drain. This setup pushes the hot water into the cold side. So the cooled down water goes in the cold side. Nothing happens with it. It's ready to be used. But on the inside of that little manifold dealie, there's a diaphragm that when it starts to get warm, it closes off, doesn't allow the transfer of water to the other side.
Yeah, so it keeps hot. That makes sense. So let's switch gears to multi-units, property management companies that have 9 houses or whatever. Whenever it comes to larger scale, multi-systems, things like that, what should they look for? How can we help them? And what should they do to be ready for a potential winter?
Main thing is, do the maintenance. Kind of like what James is always saying about HVAC systems. Man, do the maintenance. If you do the maintenance on all the equipment that's in there, at least have a licensed plumber come out maybe once a year.
Especially checking your pressures,
valves. I mean, if we actually get in there and kind of pop the hood, take a look, kick the tires a little bit, we normally get to all the shut-off valves underneath your sink. Exercise them. Are they working? Are they leaking? Is there an issue? Okay, let's start flushing toilets. Is there a fill valve that doesn't want to shut off all the way? Is it because of high pressure? Is it because of water quality? Is it just because the fill valve's old? Toilet valve or flappers. If you use those in the tank cleaners, the chemicals kind of deteriorate those flappers a little bit more. Makes them last less. So usually a chlorine-resistant flapper is better to put on. Plus, they have so many different types of flappers nowadays. I'm like, geez. They got floats on them. They got little dealies up underneath, so where you can kind of control how much water gets put into the bowl. But like with talking with freezes and stuff, if you ever run out of or the water gets shut off to the house, you just have a backup supply of water someplace. A gallon of water directly in the bowl quickly. You get a flush. The tank is just a reservoir. That's all the tank is there for. So it dumps that water into the bowl pretty quick, gives you a flush, and then as it's filling up again, water's going in the little tube that stands up straight in the middle, refilling the bowl. So
let's talk about there's a lot of houses, let's say, that were built in the last 15 to 20 years out around the lake, let's say, like big houses, right? We're talking about, and technology has changed quite a bit. As far as technology and efficiency, right? So when it comes to someone that has, 5,000 plus square foot houses, multi-story, long runs, right, in between the heaters, what would you suggest for them that would be a good solution to upgrade their house, their system, technology-wise and efficiency?
Well, you see, that's a hard question. I say it's a hard question because generally, as a trade, when houses are built, they're built to plumbing code. Plumbing code's like the minimum standard. It's an installation manual. As long as a licensed plumber was doing that work, it should have been done to plumbing code. Let's assume it has. So even 15 years ago, code hasn't really changed that much in those 15-year time spans. No, because I'm in code books quite a bit.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we've recently got an updated code where we can start like doing tankless water heater, codes that are actually in the book, which I'm kind of happy about.
Right.
Because it used to be just off the manufacturer's installation instructions. A little bit of gas sizing here and there. But yeah, I mean, the technology for plumbing hasn't really changed all that much.
Well, let's stay specific to water heaters, and I guess what I'm saying is to bring back up the tankless and the recirculating, because I know 10, 15 years ago, big houses, 3-story or 2-story with a bedroom way over here, that bathroom might take 3 minutes to get hot water, right? So what would you do to come into that house to upgrade their systems and make them?
Well, let's say they have a tankless water heater, but it's 15 years ago. Doesn't have a recirc pump in it. There are some pumps out there that you can put on the tankless water heater.
That's internal?
Not internal, it's external.
But I mean, it has one built into the tankless.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Navian, I think, was one of the first ones that came out with the recirculation technology.
Okay.
They had a pump that was on the inside. It would recirculate internally. It would, push hot water. It was kind of like their freeze protection.
Okay.
But then because they were able to freeze protect it, they could actually push it, which helped with the freezing.
Right.
But I mean, like tankless water heaters, you have to have the stuff on the inside to be able to hook that pump up to. So most of the stuff is external. I mean, back in the day before recirculation came out with tankless water heaters, we were running it through a little pony tank. So you'd have basically 2 water heaters, tankless water heater, and then that would come out, run through the pony heater, and then that would go out through the house. That pony heater was hooked up to electric power. It had a little pump on it, so you'd just recirculate that pony heater. Because if you didn't have the pony heater, you'd be running it through the tankless, and that thing would be on all the time.
Right.
Tankless water heaters can get up to like 199,000 BTUs. That's a lot.
Jeez, yeah.
So a tank water heater is just running off of 120 volt. All you're trying to do is just keep the water hot while it's moving around. But like technology that can, be applied to a lot of houses. I mean, they have automatic Wi-Fi connected shut-off valves for the entire house.
Oh, yeah. What are those?
Well, they got different types of names: Mow and Flow, Fin Valve, Streamlabs. I know has a program for insurance and stuff out there.
Yeah, I've seen those.
But you basically hook it up to the main incoming line.
Right.
It has a sensor on the inside that kind of starts learning what your water usage is. If it reads a loss of water that's like immediate, it shuts it off right then and there. Sends you out an alert, said, hey, we got a problem.
Or if at 3 o'clock in the morning there's a constant trickle, it knows there's a leak somewhere. Right, yeah.
So and some of the ones that I've seen actually have an app that you can find, like on
I've seen that on
Play
Streamlabs.
Store, the Android. No, Play Store is Android, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I have no clue. Yeah.
But the app stores, you can.
I'm an Apple guy, So,
it's okay. Technology is technology. It doesn't matter what brand that you're on, as long as you're using it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get apps that you hook up to the valve itself, and it gives you like a usage report. Even.
Okay. Wow.
So it'll tell you how many gallons you use in the past 5 days. So I mean, if you start kind of being a little bit water conscientious, you can see the result.
Okay.
But that's one of the things that you can put in that'll help prevent secondary water damage. A lot of times you get kickbacks from your homeowner's insurance.
Right.
Tankless water heaters, we used to be able to have like energy rebates. I'm not 100% sure if they're still in effect. Usually gas companies give them because they're trying to save on how much gas people are using.
Right.
But that's where the plumber kind of comes into effect for making sure that everything is sized appropriately for that tankless water heater, because if plumber doesn't do his job, you're going to hate it.
Right. And I guess that makes a lot of sense for the rebates. And so we check on those. Like, let's say one of our customers comes and says, "Hey, I'm going to buy a new tankless water heater. Are there any local rebates that we can get?" Do we handle that? Because I know James does for the HVAC.
James does for the HVAC mostly because HVAC, man, they revolve around those rebates.
Right.
They can be a pretty good dollar amount that you get back. Plumbing, I mean, if I recall correctly, when we were doing rebates, I think it was like in the neighborhood of $200-300, and so we'd tell the homeowner about that. They'd go do the.
That's a lot of tacos, though. I mean, $200-300.
It's a lot of tacos, but so it is for the homeowner.
Yeah. Okay. So you brought up three things, and we're talking about efficiency of use, but you said pressure, right? What was the other one? Water quality.
Maintenance.
And then maintenance. So regular maintenance on your flushing your systems, all that, right? Water quality we can address with filtration. We can address with water softeners, right? And then the pressure. This is something that I've every single time I've ever gone to a job you were at, I don't care if you're there to change a faucet, I see you checking the water pressure in their house. Why do you do that? What's the importance of that?
Look at it like this. When you go to the doctor, let's just say you went in for, I don't know, broken pinky.
Right.
What do?
Yeah.
They bring you in, they put you on the scale, they take your temperature, they check your blood pressure.
Right.
Why are they doing that? They're establishing a history.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go in, one, I want to make sure that your pressure is below that 80 threshold.
Mm-hmm.
And depending in some jurisdictions, you have to be even further down.
Mm-hmm.
Like City of Austin has 65 PSI as their mandate because they're doing water conservation.
Okay.
So pressure is vital to be controlled for a plumbing system. So yeah, I go in there and I check it. I put the gauge on, I turn it on, I take a picture of it. It's in my system. Now, if I come back a year later and it was, say, 70 PSI, now it's 89 PSI, we know we had a change in there somewhere.
Right.
Did another pump for the water system get put on? Is there PRV going bad? What's going on?
Right.
And
a PRV is?
Pressure reducing valve.
Okay. And that's when the city puts out a certain level of pressure and you want to control the pressure in your house, that valve will take it down to the pressure that you set it at.
Look at it this way. The city, jurisdictions, however you want to call it, they have to provide an adequate pressure for everybody that's in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that means it's 150 PSI.
Right.
Not safe to run through your house. They are there to give you the water. After the meter, that's homeowner property.
Right.
So you have to regulate the pressure down from 150 down to 70, 65, depending on where you're at.
Right.
But then certain valves require other things to kind of protect systems. So if you have any kind of pressure reducing valve, check valve, anything that restricts the system, thermal expansion tanks need to be put on the water heaters.
Right.
Thermal expansion tanks are kind of like the shock absorbers on your car. You go over a bump, the shock absorbs the bump.
Mm-hmm.
So expansion tanks are just a tank, I don't know, probably about that tall. It's got a bladder down at the bottom, and the upper portion's got air pressure in it.
Mm-hmm.
We match that air pressure to match what your water pressure is. So if you're at 70 PSI, we're going to charge that tank to 70 PSI.
Right. Air's compressible, water's not, so it's going to push up against it.
So when the water heater kicks on,
right,
starts making hot water expands. Right. If you don't have any way for that expansion to bleed through the meter, so like let's just say that they are at 150 PSI, then you start kicking up more pressure. Now you're climbing higher than 150.
Right.
So with that expansion tank on there, that extra pressure is absorbed into the tank.
And not in your system.
Not in your system.
Right.
So it saves the water heater from expanding, contracting, creating additional pressure for toilet valves that just like to sing at you. Because realistically, if you're at 150 PSI, you got other problems than just thermal expansion.
Right, yeah. So if someone wants to get in touch with you to get on the schedule, to get you to come out and check their system, look at it, they're concerned about their water quality or the pressure in their house or upgrading to a new system, more energy efficient, how would you have them get in touch with you?
Well, I mean, they can call the main office, talk to you, whoever is on the other side of the phone.
Right.
Just get on the schedule that way. There's online booking that can be done.
I guess our website,
Website,
Instagram, yeah,
Instagram,
Facebook. Yeah, so it's www.tothetplumbingandheating.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Also, you can call us at 512-966-4346. This is Seth. He's the water snob. If you want to talk to him, just call me and I'll put you in touch with him. Again, this is Lane Williams. We appreciate you coming out, Seth. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Anytime.
All right.